we need to learn how to distinguish between purpose and talent. Your why is going to either make you or break you.
Hey guys, and welcome to my channel, Cynspirations. So the reason, guys, that I'm doing this interview is because I want to start, interviewing people that have inspired me, and that way, like, they can also inspire others out there. And that, because I feel like everybody, everybody deserves to be inspired in some type of way. And so I don't want to hold the people that have inspired me, like, to myself. Like, I also want them to, change others' lives. So, this world can just become a better place. And today we have a very, very special guest. Today I have brought Faith Ibrahim, and she is the owner and founder of an amazing menswear clothing collection called Vrede 919. So I'll let her introduce herself. I mean, I've already done it, but just, let her say it.
Hi, everybody. My name is Faith Ibrahim. I'm Nigerian. I'm a Nigerian menswear designer based in Los Angeles, as Cynthia already mentioned, and I'm very happy to be here today.
Thank you so much for being here, because honestly, like I said, like, you being here is really, 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 like, inspiring to myself, because when I first heard your story, like, literally it was so touching, like, just knowing, especially being Nigerian. Being a Nigerian, it's kind of hard to, like, do things out of the typical thing they want you to do, so I was just like, the way you just came up, and look at you now, and I just know where you're going even in the future. It's just like crazy, and I want all my followers to know you, and, like, look into your brand, and and just be able to be there as you're growing, because I know, like, you're about to take off. Like,
Oh, thank you. Amen.
but you're about to take off.
That's the prayer.
So I am just so happy to have you here.
Thank you.
So we're about to get into it. So first question, can you tell us, who is Faith Ibrahim, and how would you like to be remembered in this world?
Okay. So Faith Ibrahim is a young girl in Los Angeles, a menswear designer. She's very talented, honestly, I must say. She believes in her craft, and she believes, I don't know, I'm talking about myself in third person, but basically, I believe in aligning fashion with substance, because for me, it's not just about clothes. I feel like nowadays there's so many brands, there's so many, like, fashion industry is already very saturated. So I want to make my own mark and basically unify Africans in the diaspora and, like, Africans as a whole, because my biggest problem on this planet Earth is the fact that we have such a lack of integration as Black people, Africans, African Americans, and stuff like that. So my brand and my purpose, honestly, is to be a voice in the fashion industry that breaks those norms, basically, and just, creates unity. I want my clothes to be about unity.
Yes. Oh my God. No, I felt that, honestly, because honestly, I feel like even, like, a lot of Nigerians out here, they have so much talent, but, like, no one wants to just, like, all come together and let's just, like, show the world what we really have,
Yeah.
So one of the, like, few that I've actually stepped out of their, like, comfort zone, and, like, actually have now gone to pursue that. So I honestly feel like I'm inspired by that, honestly, and I hope, like, many others like you can do the same, so we can all come together and show our culture, instead of having other people try to show it for us,
Right.
So that is really, really beautiful, and I pray, like, that goal of yours is most definitely already been achieved, and it'll just continue, So,
Amen. Thank you.
amen. Yes. So, what has inspired you to be a fashion designer? Like, as a little girl, like, how did you now coming to this age say, like, or has it been something that you've always wanted to be, like, since you were younger?
Okay, so my first introduction to fashion design, honestly, was when I was super young. My mom and I would always watch Kimora Lee Simmons' Life in the Fab
Oh,
Lane. So I watched that show growing up, and then I watched like How Do I Look, even though that was more styling, but like Style Network, it just made me fall in love with fashion. And I was like, oh my gosh, like I literally wanted to be Kimora when I grew up. Like literally, she was like the epitome of what I wanted to be. And then I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is it, you know? So I started sketching because I've always been like very artistic. So I grew up always drawing. And then it just like transitioned, like when I, you know, figured out like this whole world of fashion, I started sketching like literally from like primary or like elementary school. Like I would always like sketch during like break time and stuff like that, and I would just be showing my mom, and then like she would always have the books, so like when visitors would come, she'd be like, oh, see what Faith drew, da, 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 stuff like that. So I just always grew up in that light, and then yeah, honestly I just always knew from
that
then.
is amazing. And like, it's the wow, like the fact that like you still kept that going. Because I feel like a lot of us, not a lot of us, but like people tend to like, we know we have that skill, but like it's
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, oh, it's just a skill. But you actually
Yeah.
to like next
Yeah.
level. So
Mm-hmm.
that is amazing, honestly. And is there a reason why, now that you've taken it to this next level and made your clothing line, why specifically towards men? Because me, I want to wear your clothes. Like,
I feel you. I feel you absolutely. I actually started doing women's wear because, you know, in my school, when I went to fashion school, you have to start learning women's wear before, like, because it's like the hardest, you
yeah.
know, because the women's body is like very intricate, so like to manipulate it. And once you learn that, you can then like do anything. So I did start in women's wear, and honestly speaking, for me, it was just like there was it, for women's wear, because it's such a saturated market in the fashion industry, there's so much that has been done, so there's not room for flexibility, there's not room for innovation. And then in menswear I saw a lack of innovation, and I'm like, I know, because like I would literally like dress up my brothers, or like, you know, when they're shopping and I'm like, I'm with them, like I'm just like, damn, like I wish like I could already see the clothes, and I'm like, this should be this should be that, like taking details from women's wear or
Wow.
stuff like that. And I was just like, honestly, like why don't I just be, I guess I'd call it design that change that I want to see in the menswear industry. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it. And also because like I'm into streetwear, a lot of times I would shop in menswear stores. So like I already saw that eye for myself as well. And I was like, I like this, I like that, but I'm like, it could be better.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Like, did your brothers let you dress them? Like, they actually take your advice?
Yeah, they let me. Yeah, especially the one. It's actually mainly the one right in front of me, because we're closer in age, and like we grew up mainly together. It was me and him. So
Yeah.
like, you know, he
It was
just, I feel like we just
their
have the
perspective.
same, yeah, and like
Yeah.
he listens to me in that, yeah, in that light. So
Girl, let me just
yeah.
like even tell my brothers what? They just didn't do what I just said. Like, that is actually, no, no, no. That's actually,
Right.
that's, and I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's even motivating because, like, your brother, you know, him letting me, like, dress him up and stuff. It's like,
Yeah.
you know, nah.
Right.
Man, okay, so like, do you see yourself at least in the future, like after you've gone far with the men, so you
Mm-hmm.
making something for us women,
Absolutely. Honestly, no, I'm not gonna like, you know, exclude women entirely. I mean, some of the clothes in the collections that I've released are pretty unisex. But it's mainly towards like women that are into streetwear, obviously. But I do want to create like, you know, very like little like capsule collections for women. It'll be exclusive,
Yeah.
but you know, I do intend to have those later on when the brand grows.
Don't worry, she's got
Period.
it. Don't worry.
Period. I got y'all, ladies. Don't worry. Y'all gonna be in this drip.
Yeah, listen, like I got my hoodie on right now, and I'm ready for more.
Gang, you know the vibes.
Okay, like, oh my gosh. So shout out to that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And so, okay, so what inspired you to name it Vrede 911? Like, where did that come
Okay. Hmm. I'm gonna try to keep this concise and clear.
from?
But the name, if you want to like, okay, so it's like from Afrikaans, a language that's spoken in South Africa. And honestly, I resonated with the name Vrede. It's actually how, like, if you want to like pronounce it like in the real Afrikaans language. I resonated with it because it means peace and tranquility. And honestly, I was in a state in my life where like I was really like looking to hear from God, like what he wanted me to do. I knew I was supposed to be in this industry, but like what exactly was my purpose? What was the change that I was supposed to, embark on? And once I had that, I felt a lot of peace. And that's why I actually, initially, I started looking up words that meant like peace in different languages. And that's how I saw that. And I felt peace when I saw that as well. But then also it just tied back to my overall aim and like my overall goal to unite Africans and stuff like that, because it's a Nigerian brand but it has a South African name. But then that's like the message I'm trying to pass on, like, I'm aware of what's going on in your country, even though you might not be aware of what's going on in my country. But that's the problem, lack of integration, because we feel like we're so different. We feel like we cannot unite, because I feel like honestly that was even the goal of colonization in the first place, to make us in Africa so different with our experiences that we feel like we cannot relate. And then it causes things like xenophobia in South Africa, like against Nigerians and stuff like that. So it's like making that message that like, Africa, we are one.
Yes.
I can use your language, you can use my language, da. So basically just creating that whole unism. So
wow, because literally it's like the fact, okay, when you said it, it was like, okay, like that's cool, but the fact that now it's like literally in your name, it's like, no, this girl really wants a change. Like,
absolutely.
I'm not gonna, that was mind-blowing. I'm not gonna
and the 919 actually has its own significance as well. So the 9, that signifies September, the 9th month. That's the month I was born. And also that was the month I actually came up with the idea when I was in London in 2018. Yeah. So yeah, that was when I came up with the idea. And then I told myself I wanted to launch it in 2019. So that 19 came from there. It was almost like me giving myself that deadline, like 2019 is coming. That's the year of, I called it like my year of implementation. So everything that I've been saying that I wanted to do, I did it in 2019. So that was like the significance behind it too.
That's mind-blowing. I'm not gonna lie, that is crazy. Like, wow, that's actually first of all, really, really good name. Like, wow. And it's just so nice, like just to hear, like, and the way you said it, like how it's actually pronounced, like that was sweet. Like it was just sweet on the tongue. Like that was very,
Thank you.
Well, congratulations to meeting that deadline, because like, we always say we'll do it by this time, but like
but to actually do it,
Speaking of women, I was saying earlier, what influenced you with your new t-shirt, the Woman Empowerment?
It's so crazy because I feel like I'm always going to reference like spiritual stuff, because I'm a very religious person. So so honestly, I believe that when God gives you a message, he gives it to you knowing, like he's gonna give it to you prior to like when you really appreciate the relevance of it. So I had this idea a hot minute ago because I just wanted to celebrate women, and I wanted to do it for like International Women's Day. But then, because of COVID, there was like a long like delay with like factories and all of that. So I couldn't meet that deadline. But this year has just been so heavy, and we've been speaking a lot about like gender inequality. These things have been in conversation for a long time, but this year it's been so heavy, with like, we saw like the real injustice with Breonna Taylor. We saw the injustice even with the killings of the girls in Nigeria, Uwa, Tina, all these things, the rape culture, the women just being ostracized in general, all around society, worldwide, because we're at home and we're so glued to our phones. We're hearing about these things way more. And that's why now the change has to happen. We have to not just hear, but we have to implement. And I feel like, I was also drawn by the idea of like just the whole thing about like African unism as well. And like, going back to like women and like being ostracized, like when I was thinking about like even the history that we're taught in Nigeria, because I grew up in Nigeria, the history that I was taught over there, I didn't hear about a lot of these women that I put in the t-shirt. I didn't hear about their stories. And I'm just like, why is that? Like, what type of history are you teaching me? Why should I have to go learn that by myself? And I don't want that for my children's generation. So I want to implement that, and I want to you know, tell these stories that I don't even know, but like I want these stories because they're so significant. They should be generational, long stories. So basically having all of that in my mind, that was really what like geared my whole thought process. And I was like, yeah, what better time than now to release this? Because I mean, we have to celebrate women. Like society is just against the woman, but we have to be for the woman, you know?
Period. Okay. Like, we have to be the change that we want to see. And I feel like,
Absolutely.
you know, us being on our phones, it's like, that's not enough. Us speaking about it is
Yeah.
not, you know, and I
Tweeting
feel
is not enough.
it's not enough, you know? It literally just takes one voice. And honestly, even one voice can account for so many voices that I just really,
Yeah.
you know? So you doing that, oh my gosh, like, you know, like that is now putting us in the fashion industry too. You know, like if you're wearing this shirt, like you must honestly like be for it. Like, you know, it can
You
be
have to, exactly. You have to stand for the message too. It's not just a cool graphic, you know, it's the thing about aligning fashion with substance. And I want to attract those type of customers too, because you're wearing it. It's not just because of the drip. You're wearing it because of the message.
That's actually very beautiful. And then what about like New Nigeria? How about that?
New Nigeria. All right. That one was honestly a personal message for myself, right? Because I came to America and I had experienced a lot of things. It was almost like a new awakening for me. And to tell you the honest truth, there was a point because of how many restrictions I had experienced here. And I'm just like, damn, like I should be given the same opportunities as these people. I'm smart, I can do this, I can do that, but like I'm not having the same opportunities because of where I come from, because of the color of my passport. So literally, it weighed me down. I almost even started looking at being Nigerian as like, I won't say like a curse, but like a disadvantage.
Yeah, like you're just like
I was in such a low point because I just had a lot of like disadvantages. Like there's certain places that, you know, I was like selected to even travel to. I can't travel because I can't get like so many things. But then I was like, I believe that whatever you look at as like a problem, I believe that that problem that you're going through you're going through because God is basically appointing you to be the answer of that problem. So I know that like, okay, I'm looking at it as like a problem, you know, with all the things that are happening in Nigeria, da 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 da. It's like, yeah, it's happening to me because I'm supposed to, you know, implement something. I'm supposed to, I guess, you know, be in the light of like that change. And I just thought about like all the terrible things that have been happening in Nigeria, like from police brutality. And like, it's so relevant to today because, you know, going past that whole unism, like with just Black people in general, like African Americans feel like they don't, you know, we don't have the same struggles with them, but it's like, we have police brutality in Nigeria too. It's just from a different mindset because like, you know, the policemen are not paid well. So they're just like going through it and they're on drugs and all of that. But like, just basically highlighting those topics and then not just, that's like the starting point for me. It was highlighting those topics of the things that need specific change in Nigeria, putting that on that shirt, and I look at it every day and it's like, where do you stand? What are you going to do about it, you know? And for me, I feel like, because on the t-shirt, the graphic, if you really look at it, it has, you know, say no to police brutality on there. It has some icons representing the lack of women in STEM, like in the, you know, it also shows lack of entrepreneurship resources on there. It also shows, I'm trying to look at it, it also shows like, you know, the trajectory of which our entertainment industry should be going. So I mean, yes, it's getting a lot of recognition right now, but there's still more to be done. So basically just looking at all of that and then, you know, almost as like a reminder of myself that like, hey, out of all of this, yes, the first thing with going to, I feel like I talk so much.
I'm interested, like I'm locked and loaded, like what?
Right. But I feel like the first way to, you know, I guess tackle a problem is by definition. So you define everything that's happening and then it's like, okay, where do I make my mark? Where do I start? So it was more of like a personal thing for me. So I had to just define that and just know that like, hey, no matter all the things that I feel have been like tribulations based on my green passports, there's still work to be done. And I know that like God has appointed me for a reason. So I just had to look at it from a different perspective. So that was why I had the New Nigeria tees.
Girl, what? And honestly, like I just see this like this is obviously God's purpose for you too, like something that, like one of the many things he wants you to do, you know, in this life. So it's like, if you're getting this idea as you're doing your purpose, it's not just out of coincidence. It's not like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
you know, like as you're doing your
Mm-hmm.
purpose, there's more things he wants to unlock in your purpose. And like you honestly, like, you know, a voice of very many, and like that is so crazy, because there's a lot of people that probably face the same thing, but I mean, they take it because they feel like, oh, you know, like, I mean, that's how it is. This night,
Mm-hmm.
or like
Exactly.
I hear it, or like, oh, that's Nigeria. Like, you know, like we have to show them like this is very relevant. Like this is,
Mm-hmm.
you know, something that needs to be addressed, something that needs to be changed.
Absolutely. Right.
And then you take it into the fashion. I just, girl, like, because a lot of people look at fashion as like, oh my gosh, you know, some people look at it as like just clothing, but then like,
Just clothes, yeah.
no, but when
Mm-hmm.
you're
Just
not,
glamorous, yeah.
exactly, when you have
Mm-hmm.
that message in there, it's like,
Absolutely. Right.
okay, so growing up Nigerian, was it, I mean, I know with your mom, she was, you said how she was, you know, supportive of your drafts and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so now, well, how was it like now telling them like, okay, you know, I'm not gonna do the typical like Nigerian engineer lawyer. Like,
Oof.
how was that? Because
Girl. Girl.
you know, like,
Honestly, when I tell you guys, like, this thing was insane. Like, when I tell you the power of purpose, I left Nigeria to come to America to go to West Virginia University to study civil engineering. That was why I was leaving the Nigeria. And then there was like stuff that was happening with like the admissions lady that was helping me out, and like my dad was really pissed off because they sent my stuff late, so I'd missed like orientation and stuff. So he was like, he was ready for me to leave the country that year because my siblings were actually in LA. So he was like, you know what, since you're not going to go to school now, since they wanted to defer to January, you would basically just go to LA and just like, you know, just just spend time there just until it's time for school or whatever. And then because I wanted, like, after SS3, that's the last, like, I think 12th grade, or like, yeah, so after that I wanted to go to, for the summer, I wanted to like do a fashion course or something. And then the one I wanted to go to, I wasn't able to because they weren't accepting high school graduates. So my dad was like, you know what, since you mentioned about like, you know, learning more about this fashion thing, just go while away time. So my sister found a fashion school here, and he was like, yeah, it's going to be for 3 months or whatever. He didn't know that she was enrolling me into a 2-year program to get an associate's degree. I'm telling you. So literally, girl. And then he was like, I'm going to leave after January. And then I told him, I said, to tell you the honest truth, I really don't want to study engineering. And I was like, you know, I'm very like, what's it called? I'm very, you know, artsy and like whatever, you know, the most I can do for you is architecture. So I was then supposed to go to Syracuse in New York to study architecture for the fall that year. So that was basically like, okay, fine, you stay in fashion school for 1 year, and then the next year, or like, you know, after that 1 year, you're gonna go to Syracuse to do architecture. And then that 1 year had passed, and I was like, honestly, this is going to be a waste of your money because I've already gone one way. Let me just finish the degree. At least let me have a paper. Let me have paper or something to show, you know, and everything. He was really mad about it. He didn't give me peace about that. But then he was like, you know what, whatever, just do that. And then it's so crazy because after that second year, that's when a lot of things started happening for me. And the first thing was when I actually got the opportunity to work for Beyonce's mom. So when my dad heard that, he was like, Beyonce's mom. Like, he said, this fashion is like, it's okay, you know, you can, you know. So he started, you know, I guess resonating with it.
Love it.
Yeah, he started, you know, coming to terms with it, and like other things were happening too. And then he just really, I guess, just saw that, like, you know what, this is what you're supposed to do and you're going to succeed. So he just gave me his blessing.
Wow.
Honestly, after that, yeah.
And that's the
Crazy
other thing,
life.
they won't even see it until you bring something to the table to
The thing, they will never be on board until it produces fruits. They're not patient.
Until money has entered the thing, they won't see.
I'm telling you, they're not patient, but you know, they just have to be. They just have to be, because especially like, you know, with I guess I call it like creative industries. Like it doesn't happen like that. I mean, for everything in life, it doesn't happen like that, you know. But I feel like there's more uncertainty with creative, whatever, because it's like who's going to blow, you know, that type of thing. So I understand, and I don't blame them for thinking in that way, because they want their children to be good. They want their children to, you know, when you're done with college, you have a job, you have money, all of that. But I mean, it's who's willing to take that risk, who's taking the chance on their kid.
That's what I say. Once you take your kid out there, like, you just fly out there and bring me back something, you know, and it's
Girl,
you never know
right.
when that's gonna happen. No, but Africans, they like time, like give them a time when this is gonna happen. It's like some with, like, you know, like, so the creative industry is kind of like there's no real time, you know, when you're gonna blow up. It's kind of like when you're gonna blow up, you know. So like I feel like, yeah, like Africans, they're impatient. They just want money and everything. So but shout out to your parents. Shout out to Beyonce.
Right. Shout out to them. Period.
Right? Oh my gosh, how was it working? Like, you know, for like, you know, doing that for Beyonce's mom. Like, huh? Like,
it was, girl. It was, first off, like even getting it, because she came to my school and she like interviewed a bunch of people, and then getting the call back at first, I was like, ooh, Lord, it was awesome. And then I was able to work. I've worked for her for 3 years now. So her wearable art gala, I work with them every year, and it was awesome. Honestly, I feel like with each year, it kind of gets. I feel like I get more like responsibility. So it's just nice having that. And I feel like I kind of formulated like a little family with them, because I work with the same people all the time. It's just really beautiful. And she's a very creative person too. So she gives you a lot of creative freedom, but like she still gives you like her input. And her input is like so beautiful too, because she is a creative as well, you know, and she gave birth to creatives too, you know, so like she birthed creators in their bloodline, honestly. So she's really, really sweet. She's just an amazing person. I'm grateful that I had the opportunity. Yeah.
That's, oh wow, look at God. That's crazy. Well, shout out to Beyonce's mom. Congratulations again. That's really, really good. That's not small. So congratulations.
Thank you.
So what is a piece of advice that you would give to someone, you know, now trying to enter that creative industry, is like specifically African Americans, Nigerians, all of us out here, like, you know, what is a piece of advice that you would give?
First and foremost, I will start by asking them why they want to do it. I understand the creative industry is booming now. Everybody wants to hop into it. Your why is going to either make you or break you. Why are you getting into it? It's not because it's trendy. It's cool to be a photographer. It's cool to be a fashion designer. And another thing too that I feel like people in this generation need to understand is that we need to learn how to distinguish between purpose and talent. That's something people don't talk about a lot, but that's something people need to understand, that like, okay, yes, you can hold it. Like, I understand, okay, you can hold the camera and take, like, I shot like my the t-shirts, right? For instance, I was trying to save money, so I shot it myself, because I was like, you know what, like, let me, all hands on deck. You know what I mean? Yeah. But that does not mean I'm going to be the next. Do you know what I mean? Yes. Just because I was able to do it, because I mean, I put my mind to it, I didn't fail at it, does not mean that's what God ordained me to do in this life. Yes, yes. Lots of people feel like, okay, I like clothes, I'm going to be a fashion designer, or I like, or even the fact that you feel like you can put yourself together and feel like you can dress nice. I'm a stylist, I'm a fashion designer. Like, everybody's so quick to like put those titles. They're so hungry for all of that, but it's like, you need to chill a bit, because first and foremost, it's kind of almost, what's the word I'm looking for? It kind of almost like devalues the people that are actually doing it and the people that actually have that. So when you're coming, I feel like you need to come correct. Ask yourself these questions first. Determine why you want to do this thing in the first place, and then that's what's going to, because I'm telling you, it's not easy. There are days that like I'm so depressed. There are days I don't want to get out of bed, because there's a lot of uncertainty, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship. There's a lot of uncertainty, and it's like, if you can't handle that, the only thing that's going to keep you handling that is your why. Why are you doing this? The purpose of like what it is that you're trying to change, whatever it is, like whatever you're trying to use your voice to like portray or like to say, you know what I mean? So that change or whatever it is that you want to do, you have to come with substance. You can't just come and just be like, oh, I want to do it just because. And that's too, that why, once you determine it, that's even what's going to help you to be able to battle with your parents.
Thank
You know
you.
what I mean? Because it's like you're betting on yourself, and because you're so passionate about that why, and like it in your heart of hearts that why is literally like, because you know the why, definitely you know that you're going to be successful. So literally it's almost like you're betting with your parents. It's like, okay, now try me type of thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's literally just honestly determining that. And really, if your why is not strong, if your why does not have substance, then please take another route. Because honestly, I'm really tired of like, bro, this is low-key rant. I'm tired of creatives or like people getting into the creative industry and just like watering down the industry, not bringing anything, and just feeling like, oh, because she can do it, I can do it. Because Daniel is doing it, yeah, that's what I'm supposed to do too. No, or because I helped Daniel pick between red or blue shoes, now I'm a designer, now I'm a stylist. Absolutely not. Like, we need to stop all of that and be on your own journey. Individuality, be your own person and stuff like that. But yeah, honestly, that's the biggest advice I would give, because I feel like even if you ask also aspiring people today, they won't be able to give you a good reason why they want to go into the creative industry. And that's facts. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. So yeah, like, that's my first thing. And then once you're able to tell me that why, then I'm gonna tell you, what this game is about.
No, literally,
you know what I mean?
Prepare what you're about to say. Yeah. People will literally critique you to the core on it, but like, you have to have that mindset, that passion, that why to keep going. Because if you do it because, okay, I picked up a bunch and now I can go and do this, now third. Like,
now I can, right? Now I'm Picasso.
Like, I can build castle, I can build the world's
right.
Like, not trying to knock anybody down or anything, but it's like, it's just life. Like, if it's not like something that you genuinely know, like, okay, like, this is my purpose, I prayed over it, like, it's something that I will do and make a change to. Some people wanted to even just get money, and like, that's fine, but like, I feel like when you have a purpose too, it should also be like for a cause, or like for
it has to be for a greater good. You have to make a change.
So like, it's just like, I get side hustles, that's fine, but when you're actually doing this as like your life, like, some people are really taking advantage of that, and it is watering down, like, those that are actually doing this to, like, make a living, make a change in his life. So I felt that. No, I'm not gonna lie.
Honestly, girl, it came from a place of frustration too, because kind of like, it frustrates me.
Especially
it does.
Everyone just
it does.
And
girl, like, yeah, because now there's a lot of time on everybody's hands, and that's another thing too. When that's not what you're supposed to do, you wonder why you're battling with consistency. It doesn't fit into your lifestyle. It doesn't. You have to be real with yourself. You're like, okay, you started a brand, or you started a podcast, or like whatever the case may be, and you're not consistent with it. It does not fit. The Bible says there's a time and a place for everything. Because COVID now, you feel like there's time. Your life, it's time and place. They go hand in hand. If there's no place for it in your life, time is not enough. Because you feel like, okay, you have free time during like quarantine, we're all at home, da 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 da. When outside opens up and you go back to your normal life, what's gonna happen to that? Don't start something that you're not able. Like, people are all about birthing, but like, it's about sustaining.
Yes,
it's sustenance.
It's like, literally like as in, you're good, like, you have your foundation, you started, now you have to keep growing. I feel like people when they build a building, they don't just build it and then like just stop right there. Like, you have to continue growing.
Keep on building it.
Completed that
girl,
your purpose or whatever you're trying to build in your life. So it's like, man, that's girl. Oh no, that's facts. That is
it's facts. Honestly, it really is. Let's keep it 100 on Cynspirations.
Yeah, that's just the truth. Like, I'm sorry. I know it sounds hard, but that's
it's the truth. It's the truth. Let's be real. 2020, we're having all these conversations. Let's unpack everything.
Let's unpack it.
Let's unpack it.
Unpack your bag.
No time to sugarcoat nothing.
Oh, yeah, this one someone needs to hear. But the truth hurts. I'm sorry. Oh, Lord. Okay, that is something that most definitely key. Okay, so going through this journey now that you're on this journey, like, what is your next? Like, what is the future of, like, Renee. I hope I'm saying it right. Renee.
That's like the English, you know, because you know people always have their own English pronunciation, but yeah, as long as you get the little accent, the Vrede, you know, yeah, you got it, you got it.
Okay. Like, what is the feature of it?
Okay. Well, honestly, my biggest goal really is to start up something in production in Nigeria. At first, I felt like I want to start up a denim mill because I want to revive the cotton industry. I feel like that's one agricultural resource that we've just like shied away from because we're just so heavy on oil that like we need to go back to like, you know, our resources, our key money drivers. So I really want to do something whereby it takes like, you know, from planting, because I also want to help these farmers too, because that's a whole industry that's not really being, you know, there's no concentration on it, and I feel like they need lots of help. So I want to help cotton farmers in Nigeria, and then I want to actually produce, because I want to start up the first denim mill in West Africa, whereby like there's Japanese denim, there's, you know, Korean denim, there's Italian denim, all of that, but there should be Nigerian denim too, because first off, we have the resources, we have the people, and there's lack of employment in Nigeria. So that, I believe, will be able to bring so many jobs. So if anything, that's one of the things I really want to do. I know it's more towards the future because it requires so much, but I believe that like my journey somehow will align to that.
Man, that is so beautiful. Like, I never thought about that. Like, how there's no Nigerian, then there's no like Nigerians,
Yeah,
you know, like our fabric, we have all that, but there's a lot more that we can have of our own.
Oh, there's so much more. We've not even reached half of our potential, because that country, the potential in that country, that's something I have to keep on singing to myself and to people. Like, don't lose hope, don't lose faith, because you're seeing like all the bad things that are happening. We just need good governance, and we just need people that are willing to, you know, implement that change. That's why low-key some of us, we need to go back home, like to, you know, invest back at home. You know, it's not just running away from Nigeria.
Honestly, I agree. Because I went to a conference and like this man they were just begging us all to go back to Nigeria to like.
I am telling you, because the amount of knowledge that we are taking from this country, or like just, you know, first world countries, or just countries wherever anybody is going to, the knowledge and experience that we are getting, please let us take that back home. Take it back home and invest. There's so much that we can bring to the table because we're bringing a new perspective to the people that are there. That's the thing about Nigerians. Like the Nigerians there right now, they've not left Nigeria before. They don't, their mindset, they're very closed-minded. We are the ones that have been given the opportunity to cross that border and to make that change, because our minds have been developed. We've unlearned, we've learned. All of that needs to go back home.
All that. The same way they'll take things from us. Let's go and take it to their
first world. They are taking things from Africa, bringing it back home. Let us take things from them too. We can play the same game. We can play the same game. Enough is enough.
It's enough.
There, girl. Please, let's take what we can and take it back home. We will become the first world country now. Come on now. I'm telling you. Period.
Oh
yes.
No, that is actually so true. I'm so tired. Like literally, like when I went to that conference and they were saying that, I was like, Nigerians are so smart.
Girl.
We just like to work together. Like we just need to work together and let's pull something and let's make a change. Like
100%.
And that's such a good idea. Like I know that's gonna go on. Speaking into existence, like you're gonna make that Nigerian denim. It's gonna go for I see it.
Amen.
So how would you describe your style in 3 words?
Oh Lord. This is so funny because I've asked people this question, but I don't know. I've never asked myself this question.
Oh, drum roll.
So I don't. Let me see. I'm in my room right now, so I'm looking into my closet.
Oh my goodness.
Honestly, I'd say innovative, because I literally I strive every day to wear things that, like, I go outside and I'm not going to see somebody wear the same thing I'm wearing, or somebody must ask me something about my outfits. Somebody has to, either my shirt, my shoe, you must ask me where I got something from.
Oh my
That's when I'll know.
I literally have so many questions on the things you wore that you
Girl, I'm telling you.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm gonna say different. I will say honestly, because I feel like I have two personas. I have a street persona and I have a classy persona. So I can be, I'll say classy and I'll say street and I'll just say different, honestly, because I embody all of that like in different ways in certain times.
I'm definitely gonna drop her Instagram if that's okay with you. Okay,
Period.
down below so y'all can
Yes,
check
sir.
it out. You know, she's not just talking; she can back it up too. So check that out.
I got my receipts, y'all.
Go ahead now, right now. Like
Right.
yes, and I also agree. Like what, girl, you body. Yeah, like honestly, I have questions too because there's this one outfit that you wore that I'm like, I'll then we'll talk about that.
We'll talk about it, girl. Thank you.
Yes, no, for real. So where do you get your inspiration for like your clothing? Are those like Nigerian clothes? Is there like maybe like somebody that you look up to, or is there like, you know, like, or is it just kind of like whatever you see?
Okay, so in terms of inspiration, this is why like I aspire to call myself a global citizen because I've traveled a lot, but I feel like I still haven't seen a lot. But a lot of inspiration is from what I see when I travel. I'm very like I like to immerse myself in different cultures because I'm very cultured, like you know, from Nigeria. I have such a rich culture, so I'm very like you know very like into you know discovering different cultures and like different things I see in different countries. I try to think of how I can merge all these worlds together because I always want my clothes to have that African roots, like either with the color or like the silhouette or something. You will know that it's Nigerian heritage, but then I guess merging that world or like making where I'm coming from, you know, unite with where I am.
Oh,
So like the
mixing the best of both
Nigerian,
worlds, basically.
yeah, just merging all the worlds together. Honestly, I feel like that's what drives most of my inspiration. So I make sure that like even if and I get inspiration from like even like just walking down the street and seeing what somebody's wearing. Like I'm that crazy person that like I will see a random person and I like your shoe something, I'll stop you and take a picture of it. I
Really?
literally do that. Like I'll see like even it could be like an old man walking on the street and has like these vintage jeans and I'll stop him and ask him to take a picture of his jeans. Like
Really?
it's actually crazy. So yeah, I get
I'm not gonna lie,
inspiration
I'm
from
like, ma'am.
girl. People looking at me like, excuse me, like, but I'm
Yeah.
like, please, Loki, I know you're flattered. I know
They
you're
they know
flattered.
they're flattered too.
They're
Like,
flattered, so
like
just for me. You're
that.
just for me, but I know, yeah, honestly, it comes from different places. Inspiration comes from everywhere, honestly. Like, it could even be like Pinterest or like a runway show or something. Like, I search for inspiration every day, but I always make sure that I merge those worlds. Like, you have to see that heritage and it has to, you know, make do with where I am right now. So, yeah.
Oh, that's actually, yeah, and that actually motivates you to travel a lot more too, because like
Yes.
you want to see more.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
that's actually
absolutely.
really, really good.
Absolutely.
If you were given the opportunity to work with one fashion designer, who would it be?
I actually have to.
Okay, I feel like I know one, but let me just wait.
The first one is Jerry Lorenzo from Fear of God.
Okay.
The second one is Kirby.
Oh,
Kirby from
dang.
Piermont.
It's not good. I
Piermont,
thought.
yeah. Yeah. I feel like you were gonna say Virgil.
I
You were gonna
was.
say Virgil.
Oh my gosh.
You were gonna
Dang.
say Virgil.
Oh my god.
Honestly, him too, but I feel like in my rank of like these men that I look up to, Jerry and Kirby have taken more of they've taken more of my interests.
Okay.
Virgil used to be number one.
Wow.
But now for me, going back to fashion and substance,
Yes. Yes.
right? These two men are killing it. Jerry, the way he has merged, like, you see who he is, and I feel like a lot of people resonate with his clothing because of his beliefs.
Okay. Okay.
Because of how the message that he passes on with like his religion and his beliefs and his morals, his values, you see that, you know, threaded into his craftsmanship, the way he works with people, all of that stuff. So he's bringing something more than just clothes. And he's really pushing for American luxury,
Wow.
you know, and it's like luxury in the streetwear lights, all of that. Virgil is very creative. Me, this is just me. I know people might,
No, girl. Oh,
disagree with me or whatever, but this is just me, based on my preference.
Please,
Right. And with Virgil, his mind is phenomenal, and he's very like structured, very like, I mean, it goes back with like his engineering or his architecture degree and stuff like that. So he's very like thoughtful and intentional with like his details and stuff like that. So I admire him from like a aesthetic aspect, but I just feel like, in terms of him being such a powerful man at the top, as a powerful Black man at the top, I feel like he needs to bring his brothers and sisters up along with him, because it's like, nobody truly wins until all of us win.
That's what I'm saying.
So that's just why he's like low-key, going down the ladder. But somebody like Kirby, if I meet this man, I feel like I'm going to cry. Because Kirby, I look up to him, girl. Where's Kirby? Please bring up the cellular.
Bring Kirby up.
I'm telling you, because he is like, his work is so beautiful. He celebrates the richness of Black culture, and it's like, I don't know. I feel like there's also something about him being Haitian American. He's not just American. He's bringing another thing into the table. That whole unism thing, the whole thing about unity. I see it in his work, and I see it with the way he's very inclusive of Black people. He celebrates, like, he literally even calls like, I think like one of his like slogans and stuff for like Pierre Moss is like, he calls it "Your Friends in New York." And I just find that so beautiful. Like, he's so inclusive. Like, even going back to I think the show that he wanted to do, was it this year for his recent collection, he was talking about like how kids that actually are the ones that are supporting these high-end brands, they're excluded. They don't get to experience the fashion shows because obviously for the elite, they don't get to do this, they don't get to do that. They're still loyal, they're still supporting you. So him coming to change that narrative, and then he was trying to do like, I think, drive-through things for like his film, how he's going to release his film, and he was doing it in like, I think he was thinking of doing it in neighborhoods where it's like those kids can be able to have access to it. He's including them in the conversation, because at the end of the day, like, they're the true supporters. Enough is enough with like magnifying the elite and doing things in society for the elite,
for
like
status, and all that, people with status around.
Exactly.
Come on,
Exactly.
people that are really putting their
girl, literally. And those are the people I feel like would appreciate it the most. So for him to just mention that, honestly, is just amazing. And like, he literally, even before, like, because I know this year has been crazy with like BLM and everything, but Kirby has been on this. His fashion show last year, was it 2 years ago? Literally, like, he had t-shirts making these statements. Like, he's always been about it, and I look up to him and I respect him so much, because he is the epitome of fashion and substance.
Yes,
honestly. So yeah, those are two people I want to work with. Oh God.
Hey, for real. Oh my. Can you imagine having a fashion show where all, like, in their area where they can all come and, like,
imagine that. Talk about inclusivity. That's what it's about, That's what it should be about.
Honestly, though, 2020, 2021 and onward, let's let that be what we're now doing. Just unifying each other. Like,
I'm telling you, because we're having a lot of conversations in 2020, but my fear, and literally Jerry Lorenzo quoted, he said I think it was, I don't remember where he said it, but he said the biggest disadvantage or the biggest disservice we would give to ourselves is if we come out of this unchanged. And it's like, literally, because if you're in 2020, we've gone through all of this, like, and I feel like my fear is that it's going to stop at the conversation. And then as human beings, we're going to I feel like we get easily distracted. So when things are back to normal, we forget the significance of what we've been through.
Because it's crazy just thinking that like BLM has been going since. And it's like, it's gotten better though, for sure. Like it's definitely, it's just, I hate that we're like, it can be like that with society, like, especially like, for example, like on Twitter, if something is very important happening, Twitter will put very irrelevant things that will be trending before what, like, something that's actually very, very important. I'm like, is that how we are as humans? Like, we just kind of put other, like, BLM was going on for like a good, like, it was a long time actually, like a good minute. And then other things started trending. I was just like, what is this? When people
Girl,
are getting hurt, people are still.
honestly,
I really pray that's not the case this time. With
I really hope so. I really hope so, because honestly, I would hate to see everything that we've been through just be for nothing, because it's like all of this, like, I believe was intentional for us to go back and reconnect with ourselves, reconnect with our creator, our beliefs, everything, whatever the case may be, however anybody, is able to reconnect. I feel like it's that was the significance of everything that's happening right now. So like for that not to be the case at the end of the day, and like there's been so many lives that have been lost based on like COVID-19. And I was listening to TD Jakes, and he said, honestly, the biggest, like, our responsibility is not to let those people's deaths be in vain.
That's what I'm.
What did they die for?
Hey, no.
If you really think about it on a deeper level, questioning why these things are happening, I believe in life, everything is about sacrifice. What's it called? I sympathize with, people that have lost people and stuff like that. But I'm like, there's a level of sacrifice with the amount of deaths that are happening in the world for something, the fruit that is about to be born. Because the same way a lot of death has happened, a lot of birth will happen.
What I'm
if we keep our heads, So
Mhm.
that's why we need to come out of this changed.
With all the births that's happening now, like, if we all just now, like, that's the future that's coming into life. So it's like, please, like, also for those lives that are lost and for those that are now, like, coming into this world, it's like, let's now think our future about like, make a change for our, like, future kids, like, like,
Absolutely.
like, because then it's just gonna repeat itself and nothing changes, they're gonna do the same. And that's really how it's been. It's like,
Yeah.
this is a new decade.
It's a new decade. It's a new decade.
And this is our last question.
All right.
I saw your video actually of you singing, and like you were singing with Ryan Destiny. She was singing. I know she was like on, like, he was on YouTube, and you were like, following along there. And I was like, this Faith can sing, like, girl. So I just want to know, now that we see you're also a singer, a fashion designer, is there anything else we need to know about you, our future fashion?
Honestly, singing is like a hobby for me. Like I sing in church when I was younger and stuff like that. But I mean, I want to take it more seriously. Just like, I don't know, I want to take it more seriously. I don't know what that means yet.
Yeah, I feel that.
Because I also feel like I don't want to, like, I don't know about that. Honestly, I don't know yet. But it's like, does it align with my purpose? How does it? What can I say?
Yeah.
So I'm yet to have those answers. Yeah. But one thing though that I want to do is, I'm actually working on it. I want to be like an educator.
Yes.
Because I got 4 degrees. So like I feel like I want to start up a platform where like I do like fashion education. I'm yet to know what exactly that entails, but that's something, if anybody's looking into something, like, I guess another thing that's next, but like more in the near future. That's something I want to do for sure. I want to teach, and I want to discuss about the fashion industry, and just like for people that really want to pursue this path. I feel like, because like I know for me too, it was kind of hard, like, other than going to school, like outside sources, it was kind of hard, like, seeing people that are completely transparent and really telling you step by step. Because I don't know, maybe it's just the LA thing too, but like people here, honestly, based on my own experience, people are very greedy with knowledge. People are very greedy with answers. Even people at the top, like I'll meet people, because it's very easy to meet people in LA. Anybody that lives in LA that's watching this, it's very easy to meet people. But when you ask these people, it's so hard to meet people that are genuine and would literally tell you or like try to help you out. So I know I'm not anywhere yet, but I know a little bit, and I feel like there's somebody that will gain something from me, because I don't know, I just feel like it goes back to like your purpose being tied to somebody else's destinies too, because like that's why you have to be obedient, because your obedience is tied to somebody else. So if that's something that's really supposed, like if something that I'm supposed to do, I'm gonna obey and do it, just so that somebody, even if it's 1, 2, 10 people that gain something out of it, I will be at peace. I will be happy knowing that. Yeah.
It'll be like
So
a domino effect, and like those people can share with other people.
exactly, because that's what we need. Like it's all about unity and peace, man, because there's so much greed and all of this in the world, and these are the things we need to correct. Like, why are you being greedy with knowledge? Why are you being greedy with this? Like, I understand where it comes to the different level where it's consulting and you need to be paid. I get that, but like for the preliminary stuff, the basic stuff, come on, be your brother's keeper.
Like, and it's like I feel like if you really do care about the future, you wouldn't be so greedy. Like,
You wouldn't be greedy. Exactly.
I'm not gonna lie, after speaking to you, I don't even want to pursue that career, but like I want to learn more. Like it's just so interesting. So imagine like somebody who is,
Is in, yeah.
So that is something that I most definitely know is gonna go great if you like.
Amen. Cross my fingers.
Uh,
Yes.
I am so grateful for you being here. I love this. Like,
Oh, me too.
thank you to Faith for being the first person I interviewed.
Yay.
Literally, this was amazing. Oh my gosh. And like your story for sure is gonna change someone's life. The way you're just going and moving, it's like I have no reason to just sit here and just kind of be like, I mean, life gets hard, but like it's the why. Like, why are we doing this?
Thank you for having me. This was so fun. I like to talk. I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh, girl, and that's great because I do too. So
This is why we relate.
exactly. That's why I was like, thank goodness. It wasn't awkward. It was great.
It wasn't awkward, nothing. Yeah, it was super organic.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
So
thank
y'all,
you
I'm gonna
too.
drop the link to her website down below, her IG, all her information. Make sure y'all go go check it out, go buy all that good stuff. And yeah, like this is the future. So
Awesome. Thank you, Cynspirations.
yes, y'all have a blessed day. Make sure make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And yeah, bye guys. Dreamer.